a lot of you guys may have seen Jordan's videos where you've made videos with like the most successful entrepreneurs out there. Mm-hmm. And they were incredibly educational, informative. I learned a lot from them myself and I appreciate it.
No problem.
But not many people know your story, your come up. People think that maybe you're just a YouTuber. They've never really seen that entrepreneurial side of you. And that side is so vast. You're like a serial entrepreneur at this point. Talk to us the journey through your were you raised poor or were you raised like middle class?
Well, I don't like the term poor because that means that you have no hope and anything left in life. But we were broke. Yeah. We were broke. We didn't have that much money. I mean, my dad wasn't really around, so it was me, my mom, and my sister, and she had to take care of the both of us. And as a result, we didn't have that much money. And for many years, we didn't even have a house of our own, you know. Once we did finally get our first house, we only lived there for a year until the house ended up going into foreclosure, and I had to actually move away. And I actually had to leave my mom for a couple years and move 3 hours away to a different city to live with my stepdad. And that was when I started making videos, like I told you. I stayed there for around 4 years, started a bunch of YouTube channels, just doing it for fun. And when I came home, back to being with my mom, going into high school, I wanted to use the money I made from doing these little YouTube videos, from doing little side jobs, editing videos for people, to start my own business.
Yeah.
And in high school, I started around 5 different businesses that all kind of failed. Had a clothing brand.
Nice.
I resold sneakers.
How old were you at this time?
14. I was in high school. So
I resold sneakers exactly when I was 14 as well.
Nice. And how'd you do?
I had like an Instagram page.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't know how to make a website or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
So I had like a small Instagram store and it was like basically just post like close-up photos of the product. And then they were all like basically Yeezys. I probably use the same thing. And I used to wait in the lines as well. So I used to wait like 6 hours in the line, get the drop, and then flip it the next day, you know?
Yeah, I was camping out too. And I used to sell them on Facebook primarily. I would sell them on the local Facebook group that we had in our city, which I actually created. And this allowed me to build a reputation for myself within my city, which is what led me to hosting a sneaker convention in our city. I stacked up around $1,000 from flipping shoes, and I had used that money to actually rent out the largest convention center in my city. And I hosted a sneaker convention where people could come and buy, sell, and trade their shoes. And I was 16 years old at this time. And it was funny because I remember going into the sneaker convention or the convention center with my mom, and I told the guy, I was like, I want to rent this place. And he kind of like laughed at me. And I was like, my mom looked at him and she's like, no, he's serious. And she helped me sign the papers. We put the deposit and I marketed this thing everywhere. I put flyers all through the city, posting all over Facebook.
Was it expensive to rent out the whole thing?
Yeah, it cost me almost $2,000. So I put all my $1,000 as the deposit. I had got a business partner to help me pay for the rest of it. And I made it happen. And on the day of the event, I sold out all the tickets. I had like 200 people there. The news press came and they interviewed me. Wow. And it was on that day that I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur for the rest of my life. But that day started out really high and eventually came crashing down because when I came home, I had this giant stack of cash from all these tickets that I sold, right? Like I'm talking like a fat future, hold it up to your ear type of stack of cash. And when I started counting the money off and I had to pay back my business partner and I had to pay the event expenses and I had to pay the DJ and then I had to pay everybody, I was left with $100 bill.
What?
And I remember sitting on the couch next to my mom and I just started like crying because I was so upset. I was so sad because I had put all this effort in. I put all my money in. I went all in on this project and it amounted to nothing. Or so I thought at that period of my life.
Damn.
And that was really like a major day and a major turning point in my life. But it hurt so much that I took a break from entrepreneurship for a little while. So I started hustling. I did like tech support jobs for people. I made wedding videos and music videos. And by the time
you just wanted a guaranteed check. Because I guess that part, like, you do the service, get the check, guaranteed.
Yeah, but I wasn't really making serious money from that. What I was saying is that by the time I graduated high school, my friends that had jobs at fast food restaurants and grocery stores had more money than me. And I was supposed to be Mr. CEO, businessman. So, when I graduated high school, I was broke.